Today we are making chicken liver parfait. I must have made this a bazillion times. Being a chef for the last 20 years, this is a restaurant staple. Whether I was making it for dinner parties, restaurants, or just my friends coming around for dinner. But it always looks fancy. It's so simple to make, and I promise you, any home cook out there can do it. You don't need any fancy equipment, and make sure you stick around because I'll be giving away all my tips and tricks from 20 years in the biz. If you want to impress your friends and put something super delicious on the table that's fully homemade, well then you're in the right place. This is homemade chicken liver parfait, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Chicken liver parfait, it sounds fancy, your friends will think you've been slaving away in the kitchen for hours, and actually there's not really much to it. Now the first thing that I did was, with the chicken livers here, I've soaked them in a little bit of milk. I just prepped them down, took off any really unsightly bits that don't look very nice, got rid of any excess fat, and like here you can see is almost like a little bit of a bloodline. And so I took that out too, and then I popped them in the bowl and just covered them with some milk. And here we are, a few hours later, liver's soaked, everything's ready to go. Not many ingredients for something that feels utterly friggin' indulgent, and your mates will think she has been slaving away forever, and you really haven't. So a quick rundown of this recipe and what we're gonna need. I've got half an onion, a good bunch of thyme, some butter, some cream, garlic, and I've got here the alcohol. Now this is up to you because a chicken liver parfait is all about the depth of flavour, and that is sometimes what is lacking, and that will all come in the beginning when we really make this amazing delicious reduction. And so you can choose whichever alcohol you like. I mean, you might have some white wine hanging around, use that. If you don't have port, which is a personal favourite and what we always used to do in restaurants where I've worked, or even a bit of brandy. You just want a little bit of this alcohol base, which just really makes it deep and rich. But if you don't drink alcohol, just leave it out. And that is all the ingredients we need to make this pate. So let's get on with the first thing that we need to do, make this delicious reduction, which is honestly the heart and soul of chicken liver pate. So let's get this base flavour working, which is, like I said, the most important part of making this parfait. And what we're going to quickly do is just drain off the livers. So I'm just going to pop them there, and that milk can disappear, drain off while we make the base. And all we need to do is dice this onion, slice up 3-4 cloves of garlic, and we're going to finely chop up this thyme, remove it from the stalks, and maybe keep a few little bits to decorate the top. So let's get this done. The trick here when you're making this base is that you want something that is already utterly unctuous before the livers go anywhere near it. It's so simple to do, and any home cook can achieve this beautiful pate. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to blend this up at the end anyway, so you just want to make sure it's not in huge, massive chunks so that we can saute it off all lovely. And if anyone's wondering what this is, it's my little compost bin. I collect all my bits inside and pop it out into my compost when it's done. And if anyone's interested, I've recently become a collaborator on a gardening podcast here in New Zealand. I will add the link to the description down below, and if you've come to me through that, hello, welcome, lovely to have you here. Yeah, I mean, I love gardening and I love growing food wherever I can, and composting is obviously a huge part of that. But if you don't have a compost heap, I've made loads of videos on things that you can do with all your veggie scraps. I've added some up here, so go give them a watch if you're wondering what to do with your onion and your garlic skins. Super easy things to do that are utterly delicious. Anyways, back to this, let's get it on. All I'm going to do is chuck this stuff into a pan with a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to soften it up until it's lovely and succulent and soft. We're going to season it up with a little bit of salt and pepper while it's cooking on the stove to draw out that extra moisture. You want it on a low heat, you don't want to get any colour, and while the onions and garlic are softening up lovely, we're going to quickly pan fry these livers. Get the pan nice and hot, we're going to add them in, and it only takes a few minutes to brown them slightly on both sides. Remove them from the pan and deglaze with a little bit of that port. Add it into the onions and add add a dash more. Let it reduce all the way down until all the moisture has gone. And there we are. Simple, very easy, but that is such a key component. It builds flavour, depth, and just all round yumminess. Here are our livers. As you can see, they're still nice and pink on the inside, which is what you want, because that is going to mean that your parfait stays light and bright. And that is it. That is our 2 items ready to go for this parfait. So all we need to do now is blend it. I'm going to dice up a few little knobs of butter so that we can pop them in, and that is all. So that's our 200 grams of livers, half an onion, a few bulbs of garlic, and a little bunch of thyme. You couldn't really ask for much more. I think I'm probably not even going to add 50 grams of butter and maybe 20 mils of cream. That is all you need to change the texture to silky smooth. And when you're adding in this, which is cold, it's dropping the temperature quickly, meaning that it will cool the temperature of this even quicker, keeping that pink colour even more front and centre. So let's get all of these bits in. I mean, annoying about my blender, my other blender seems to not be working, so if there's anyone out there who, you know, wants some kind of video sponsorship for your blender company, hit me up. Because this is way too large, but it's all I've got, so that's what we're going with. And that's the thing with home cooking. Sometimes you just got to go with what you got. So that's what's happening here today. Okay, we're going to add in the beautiful reduction, all of that flavour. Oh my God, it smells amazing. It's so funny how smells can just conjure up memories. And this literally reminds me of one of my first jobs in London, you know, 20 years ago. And it just, oh my God, it just smells exactly the same. Oh, it even tastes the same, crazy. And then in go the livers. Also, oh, and I've just looked here. Apologies for my pile of washing up. I did that while the onions were cooking, and I have forgotten to move it. So that will just stay there for the rest of this bit. And then that goes onto your blender. This is where you do need something though that you can, oh my God, for a minute there I thought it was gonna turn on. Oh my God, it beeped and I thought that is it. It's fucking gonna go everywhere. It is not. And so what I'm going to do before I turn that on is I'm just going to dice up them little cubes of butter and we're going to add them in as it blends, which is why you need something that you can maybe take the lid off of. So in theory, you could use something like a NutriBullet if that was all you had. You would just have to take it out, and it's not ideal because it's vacuum sealed and then you keep all the heat in there. This is great because it has a hole so some of that steam can come out. So it is better if you've got something where you can take the lid off and then add these things in. But again, not necessary. If you don't have it, you just got to work your way around it. Okay, so that's about 50 grams. And it doesn't have to be precise, but you don't want too much because otherwise it will become too rich. So we're going to turn this on, we're going to add in the butter, and then we're going to add in a little bit of cream also. Let's get this a little bit closer. Oh my God, this thing beeping is freaking me out. I think it's going to blend, but it's not. Okay, lid on, and let's blend it up. As you can see, also not the greatest thing because of the size, but you just got to work with what you got. And what you want to do is make sure that you blend this until it's fairly smooth, and then we're going to drop in these bits and it's really going to change the texture and become incredibly silky and creamy and wonderful. Great, and that's it blended. Super easy, super simple, but that is why it is important to have like a pretty good blender. I mean, you could do it with a stick blender, but it probably wouldn't end up quite as perhaps creamy. So all we need to do now is just give it a quick taste and just make sure we don't need to season it anymore. Oh my God. It's so funny, isn't it? Like I said already, that memory thing. Oh, it's wonderful. But it does need a tiny bit of salt. So I'm going to pop in some salt, and what I'm going to do is just get that butter melted so that as soon as we've poured this into there, we can top it off with the melted butter. And the reason we do this is to stop it going grey on top, so it keeps it nice and pink again. So I'm gonna get that on, and we're gonna pour this into the ramekins. Also, another reason why using this blender is an absolute friggin' nightmare, because I can't get the stuff out the bottom. So, makes it very difficult. Now the best way to do it is to knock the parfait down. You can then smooth out the top, but it's a great way to knock out any air bubbles, which again may be a reason as to why you might end up with some grey spots. So a good tap is an excellent way to get rid of them. And then we're just gonna pour that butter on top, and they're gonna sit in the fridge and chill for like an hour. And finally, the things we're gonna serve it up with. I've got some wonderful sourdough that I'm just gonna slice, drizzle with olive oil, pan fry to perfection and make crisp. I've got some delicious cornichon, the classic. I mean, these are little baby gherkins. Oh my God, I just love them. And then what is really great with something like a parfait is a little bit of sweetness. I've got some beetroot relish I made here, but something even like a little apple scrap jelly or a apricot jam. I mean, you can even just go plain old chutney. Whatever you have is absolutely delicious with this, but you need something that's maybe a little bit acidic just to cut through that richness. And also, if you want to know how to make sourdough and you've never made it before, or you've had some failed attempts, well, I've got a course called The Reliable Sourdough Method. You can find it in my description, you can find it on my website, and you too can make beautiful sourdough loaves. So let's get that parfait out of the fridge, get some of this sliced, and get a little taste of it. And that's it, the toast is toasted, everything is ready. Let's crack into this. I mean, maybe we are still a tiny bit soft, but oh my God, it smells friggin' incredible. Oh, and just butter some of that on, maybe minus the thyme. That little bit of butter on the top, melting perfectly on the warm toast. It's wonderful for Christmas, and it's so easy to make. Oh my God. It is so good. You know, oh, I have not made this in maybe like a year. Maybe the last time I made it was a year ago. Maybe a little bit more. I think I was catering a wedding. But it always astounds me how bloody delicious this is. Oh my God, it's so good. With a little bit of sweetness from the beetroot, maybe a little pickle. Oh my God. Oh, yes please. I would definitely recommend this to a friend. And the best thing is it means you have pate in the fridge. It's a great thing to put out on maybe on a Christmas platter. And as I said before, everyone will be super impressed that you made it yourself. It's delicious. It's got no preservatives in it like you might find in the supermarket, and it is just downright friggin' fantastic. And you know what else you can make with it? Delicious banh mi's. So even if it wasn't Christmas coming up, you can still learn how to make this and make delicious sandwiches. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a like, a subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below, will you be making this year? It's an absolute cracker, super creamy, super indulgent, but actually not massively expensive because liver's cheap as chips. I'll see you guys soon. Make sure you make this. I love you all. Bye.